Okay, so let us now create a sample Google form for a Likert-type survey. So go to your Google Drive. So you can type drive.mcemus.edu.ph. Uh, so all you have to do is to sign in using your MCA Google account. Then click New. I'll just go to my, okay, okay. So click New, then Google Forms. So let me entitle this sample Likert type survey for EBM Humes. Okay, so let's just, okay, there you go. So in creating a Google form, the first thing that you want to do, if it is a survey, then you may want to uh, create or you would like your client or the person who will answer this is to add information regarding about him. So the first question must be or maybe salutation. So salutation may be Mr., Miss, or Mrs. Then let us duplicate that. You can have the first name. Of course, it must be a short answer. Then another would be your surname or last name. Again, it's still an answer. Then let's try barangay. So suppose the location of the uh, person answering it. Now let us proceed to the survey proper. So I click the new section para mahiwalay yung information ng person and also the survey proper para at least mag-focus siya dito sa survey. Now in your survey, since we are doing a Likert type survey, so we have to create a direction first. So let's add directions such that they will know what to choose. So choose the best number that describes your response. Now, let's add a legend such that we will clarify that 5 is very satisfied, 4 is satisfied, 3 is neutral, 2 is unsatisfied, and 1 is very unsatisfied. We can now create a set of questions that will answer this. So, the theme that I will be using is uh, customer satisfactory survey or customer satisfaction survey. So to do that, we will be using the multiple choice grid. This one, multiple choice grid. And the multiple choice grid since the theme is customer satisfaction survey, so all the questions should be in line with that theme. So for example, an example of the question is, how satisfied are you with? So so there should be two rows. One, uh, so ito yung mga question row. The rows should be about the questions and the columns should be about uh, the number system that we will be using in our Likert type. So row 1, for example, is the purchase. How satisfied are you with the purchases? The purchase you made. You made for a product or service. How satisfied? The next is how satisfied are you with the service, the product or service you received? And finally, our company overall. So how are you satisfied with our company overall? Column 2, on the other hand, is the Likert type scores. So let's start with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So let's have another question. So as you can see, this will be the result. So how are you satisfied with? If you, let's have a brief preview of what we have just made. So suppose, alisin ko nga muna itong ganun. Alisin muna natin yung sectionings. Okay. So as you can see, the direction here, legend. So as you can see, this is the a preview of what we are doing. So how satisfied are you with the purchase you made for a product or service? Probably the price that comes with your product or service, the product itself or the service itself, and of course the company. Now let's move on to the next set of questions. So probably how are you likely? So ito naman yung tinatawag na uh, retention. So retention. So how are you likely to? So the first is buy from us again. The next is recommend our product or service to others. And finally, uh, recommend our company to others. Okay, so I don't need to write that again because we just duplicated it. So most of the time, para mas mabilis yung inyong paggawa ng mga forms, you can duplicate that lalo na kung may pare-pareho tayong questions. So looking at the preview again, so let us look at the preview. So this would be the result of your Likert type questioning. Now let us try to receive information about this one. So isi-send ko sa inyo to. Then you try to answer that. Tapos let's try to solve for the for your for the Likert type mean of the responses from our clients or sa mga surveys natin. So I'll just collect email address because I'll need this later. So, gagamitin nyo. So, if you answer this one, please log on to MCA para mas mapadala ko rin yung mga sample. Uh, uh, magpapadala kasi ako later on sa inyo using mail merge. Okay, so that's it. Yun lang ba settings sa kailangan natin? Presentation. Show link to submit another response. Yes, your response has been recorded. Show progress bar. Okay, sige. Okay, so I'll send you this one. So to send this type of Google Forms, so ganito lang yan. I want to shorten that para mas madali i-copy. Okay, I'll send it to your Zoom channel. Then I want you to answer this. So let me send this to your Zoom channel. Please answer this survey. So it's already posted in your Zoom channel. Can you please open that? Then we will wait for the responses here. So as you can see, there is a part in your Google form where we can see the responses coming in. Okay.
Can I please ask you, are you still watching the
Okay, so let us see uh, an example of your responses. So to check the responses of the people that have answered your survey is by clicking this one. So create a spreadsheet. So create. So it will automatically make a summary in Google Sheet form. So as you can see, you have your email address, you have your salutation, your first name, last name, barangay. Si Kurt, mukhang hindi niya alam ang kanyang barangay. Okay? So you're living in a barangay less location. Anyway, so let us try to remember, if you are not aware pala, this is how you solve the Likert type survey, or basically how to get the mean of this. So I'll just share you the Likert type. Uh, so the business math people are already familiar with this one because we have discussed this on their business math. So again, these are the scores or the choices. 5 should be strongly agree. Some Likert type are have 7. So 7 choices. O some have 10. Pero to make it simple, let's make it 5 choices lang. And so basically, this is how it happens. So the first thing that we have to do is to find the frequency. Since Likert type question talaga should have probably around 30 questions para lahat ng aspect of that theme are covered. So suppose in this case, marami siyang frequency. So as you can see here, marami siyang tanong to your Likert type question. Now, so the first thing that we have to do is to find out the frequency of each answer. So suppose ang sagot niya ay 536 ang answer niya sa 5, 4 ang answer niya sa 51. Kaya nga as much as possible, yung bawat tanong may kinalaman sa theme mo. So in this case, customer satisfaction. So that means if uh, you get a high score, that means you strongly agree that you are satisfied. Okay, you agree. So this is the interpretation, but we will do that later. So this is how it works. The frequency, you multiply by your score. So this is the frequency or the weights. So we will do that in your uh, Google Sheet. Okay, so how do we do that? Let's go back to your Google Sheet. Okay, so this is where your responses are. So this must be your last question, right? Okay, so I'll start with this one. So maglalagay ako dito ng mga scores natin. So let's start with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we will try to count the number of the frequency of your answer here. So we will be using the count if function. So the count if function is it will try to find first ano yung data range mo. So let us try to select the data. Sorry. So let us try to add the data range. Of course, hanggang dito lang tayo sa G. So from G2 to L2. The next part of the function is yung criterion. Ibig sabihin, the idea of COUNTIF is hahanapin niya doon sa mga groups of data mo or data array mo ng katulad ng ibibigay ko sa kanya. In this case, hanapin niya lahat ng merong 1 tapos bibilangin niya. Okay. So as you can see, dito kay, sino nga ba to? Si Arcela, siya ang ating earliest answer person who answered the survey. So wala siyang sagot na 0. Okay? Let's do that again. The same principle here. 'Di ba? Yesterday I told you that we can actually lalakayan ko lang yung zoom. There you go. Para mas kitang-kita. We can drag the formula here. Sorry. Bakit pumunta sa gilid? Drag the formula vertically, ay horizontally. However, kung mapapansin nyo, nagbabago yung ating uh, formula if we drag that. So we have to tell Excel or Google Sheet, actually they have the same group of commands. So sabihin natin kay Excel, hey Excel, I want this na to remain in this data array. So what will we do is to click F4. Now if you're using Mac, some students in the other section have a Mac. So you will be if you do not have F4 because Macs do not have F4, ang gamit nila ay Command T. Command T. Okay? So it will return this one. That means if we drag this on other cell, mananatili na ang data array mo ay the one that we chose here. So dito naman sa kabila, babaguhin lang natin since hahanapin naman natin ay lahat ng 2. Okay, so again, so nag-autofill siya. Ayaw ko ng autofill mo dahil hindi yan ang gusto ko. Ito ang gusto ko. Roy, ito. So this one, I'll just drag it in here. Okay, so there you go. So nananatili yung data array natin. Ang babaguhin na lang natin is yung criterion, which is yung hahanapin niya. So wala rin siyang sagot na 2. 3 naman hanapin natin. Wala pa rin siyang sagot na 3. Hanapin niya ay 4. Wala pa rin siyang sagot. Mukhang 5 lang yata sagot ni Arsena. Talagang satisfied customer siya. Okay. You're a very satisfied customer. Kung PLDT, kaya paano ko ang nagtatanong dito PLDT or Converge? Okay. Now, the next thing that you need to do is to so looking at the formula, let's go back to the formula again. Okay? So the formula is, so nakuha na natin yung mga frequency. So the next thing that you will do is to multiply these, multiply, then add to the product of this one plus to the add the product of this one, add the product of this one, add the product of this one. Okay? So gagawa tayo ng formula directly to your cell. So let us go back to your, don't worry, naka-record to so that you can watch this later on. Okay, so let's try to find the sum and product. The product, the sum of the products of the weight or anything. Nilagyan ko lang ng pangalan. So, all you have to do is to choose. Palitin lang natin para mas kitang-kita natin. So, this one multiplied. So, we will be using the asterisk for multiplication. This one, close parenthesis, plus, open parenthesis. This one multiplied by this one, close parenthesis, plus, open parenthesis or quantity, this one multiplied by this one, plus open quantity, this one multiplied by this one, and sorry, adding finally open quantity, this one multiplied by this one. Okay? Now, kung gusto nyo, pwede nating idirekta na. So, anyway, kasi later on na lang para mas maintindihan nyo na lang. Okay, so let's have another one. So, itong na-solve niya, basically is yung nandito sa taas. Nakuha nyo? Do you have any questions so far before we proceed? So, doon sa ginawa nating formula sa Excel is basically the yung sa taas ng ating formula. So, this time, let us solve for the denominator. Kasi in the denominator, you have to add the frequency or the weights. This one. So let us try to find the sum of the weights or the sum of the frequency. So let us call this the sum of frequency. And to do that, let's just use the sum command or the sum function and choose the data array na of course na gusto mong i-add. And there you go. So, it must be 6. And finally, pwede na nating mahanap yung Likert-type mean. Add column, sorry, add, and I need another one to the right. So, Likert-type mean. Mean. Okay. So, to do that, we just, the sum of the products divided by this one must be your Likert-type mean. Finally, para mas mapadali yung buhay pa natin because the goal here, the goal in ICT, sorry, let's just, mali yung pagkaka-add ko. So I'll just insert one to the right. Yan. So, interpretation. So this time, ang gagawin natin is our Google Sheet will automatically interpret your data using this one. So, pag 1 to 1.79, sasabihin niya, strongly disagree. Pag 1.8 to 2.59, that would be disagree, 2.6. So this will be our basis sa paggawa natin ng automatic interpretation. Imbes na titingnan mo pa dito sa interpretation form or reference, gagawa na lang tayo ng ating sariling interpretation or we will incorporate that in Google Sheet. So this is a new, this is how it works. Gagawa tayo ng tinatawag na lookup function. Okay, so before we can use this, gagawa muna tayo ng reference sheet. So let's call this the interpretation. Let's call this interpretation. Okay, wherein nakalagay dito yung mean and the other one would be the interpretation. So how does it work? Let's just yan. So ibig sabihin, so looking at your this one, palitin na lang natin. Meron akong kopya dito somewhere here para makopya natin right away. Okay, there you go. Okay, ito. So, we will be using this and lumabas ba? Ah, wala. Okay, wait lang. So, I'll just screenshot this and let's paste that here. There you go. Para may kopyahan ako. And let's, okay. So, ibig sabihin, from 1 to 1.79 ay strongly, so in our case, very unsatisfied. Right? Yun yung ginamit nating legend. So again, this is very unsatisfied from 1.8 to 2.59. That will be unsatisfied. For two, so unsatisfied pa rin. From 2.6 to 3.39. So that would be neutral. Okay, and 3.4 to 4.19 will be satisfied. Satisfied. And lastly, 4.2 to 5, that would be very satisfied. So just copy and paste na lang. Okay, so we will be using this reference para makita ni Google Sheet kung saan siya titingin. So we will be using the lookup function. So the lookup function works like this. Yeah, I know that. So pipiliin natin yung data set natin. In this case, sorry, let's start pala with lookup. So the first thing is yung basis niya. So this is the yung reference, ano ba yan? The data itself that you are trying to compare. Okay, next. Pupunta na tayo dito sa yung comparison chart. So ibig sabihin, yung 5, hahanapin niya dito yung 5. At kapag nakita niya, so another comma, kung anong katapat ni 5, yun yung kanyang i-output. Okay? So again, let's start from scratch. Una mong pipiliin is the data that you are trying to compare. Then let's go to the reference chart from the lowest to the highest. Then lastly, yung corresponding data niya. Okay. So that's it. So as you can see, very satisfied. Now, all we have to do is to populate this one. Ibig sabihin, since meron na tayong formula, pwedeng i-double click nyo na lang, double click. So all of the formula here will be transferred to, sorry, nangyari. Okay, will be transferred to the other cells below. So tama, wala tayong problema. May problema pala tayo because at this point, hindi na natin siya kailangan gusto natin siya dito uh, mag-increase siya automatically, right? Kasi gusto mong magbago yung formula mo, depende dito sa data na titingnan niya. In this case, it should be G3 to L3. So, aalisin na lang muna natin to. Yung pagka-F4 niya, F4. Yan. So, it should be G2, L2. You enter that. Then, double-click. Double-click. Ayan, na-double-click ka na. Ay, hindi pa. Yan tuloy. So, ayan. So, kailangan kong burahin muna yung mga yan. Okay, so again, we have to alisin muna natin yung dollar symbol para automatically mag-update yung formula mo for each row. So as you can see, it corresponds to your data rows na. So yung pang-apat is G4L4, tama. So it should be G5L5, tama, and so on and so forth. So yun yung gagawin natin. So alisin natin yung dollar symbol if that is true. Pwede na natin siyang i-double click. Alisin ang dollar symbol. Pwede na natin i-double click. And lastly, this one, okay, wala ng dollar symbol. Pwede na natin siyang i-double click. Okay, so this time naman, okay, so since M1, okay, ang kagandahan dito, so there's no dollar symbol. That means it can automatically update depending upon your, okay, depending upon your, di pa rin pala. So in this case, ano yung kailangan i-dollar symbol natin? So si M1. Kasi ito yung palaging reference mo. Ito yung permanent reference mo na dapat hindi magbago. Yung dapat magbago lang is itong M2, N3, O2 kasi it depends upon your row. Understood? Sampiro, are you raising your hand? Okay, sige. If you ever have any question, hindi ko kasi makita kung nagtataas man kayo ng kamay. It's okay for me, pero it depends upon our other teacher. Request permission kayo. Kunyari, teacher, Sampilo, permission to speak. So, sasabihin nyo na lang para ma-clarify natin kagad if you have any question. Okay?
Sir, may tatanong po.
So, let me write this down. Gawin nating F4. Bakit may nasamang 0 dito? Q1, Q2. Saan to? N3. Mali pala to. It should be N2. Okay. Mali pala ako. Pero tama pa rin naman. So, dapat N2 to. Ayun. So, again, this one should be may dollar symbol. This one 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 may dollar symbol. Yan. So let us populate that immediately. Okay. So as you can see, okay, M3, that means puro row 3 data. Okay, puro row 4 data. Okay. So tama tayo. So the same way with this one. Dito, wala ka ng problema kasi gusto mo na magbago yung row niya kapag dinouble click mo to. Okay? So, bakit ang sum of frequency mo ay 6? Kasi 6 na question. Basically, this one is really the number of questions in your Likert-type survey. So, this one is really the number of Likert-type questions. And finally, ano ba yung Likert-type mean ng bawat isa? So let us, since it depends upon the raw data, so wala tayong kailangang i-dollar symbol. And finally, let us look at the interpretation. Okay. Okay, merong NA. Bakit kaya? Hindi nakita si value 3. Okay. Okay, so hindi nakita si value 3. Ano pa ba ibang mga problema? 2.83, 2.62, 3.9. Dapat makikita niya yun eh. Hindi raw nakita si value 3 in the lookup evaluation. E di kung hindi niya makita, maglagay na lang tayo sino pa. Value 5 in lookup evaluation. Meron naman ah. Baka naman. So, check natin. Wait lang. Wait lang guys ah. So, B2, ayun. Nagbago. So, again, gagamitin natin ulit yung dollar symbol because we do not want the reference or yung evaluation chart natin or table to change. So, gawin natin F4, F4. Okay, so that means itong ating yung references natin hindi magbabago. Okay, so let's again click that. Hindi na. Okay. Let's just drag it down. There you go. Okay. Huh? Kasi wala na sagot. Okay. So there you go. So you have your Likert-type survey na automatic. So each time na so kahit madagdagan pa ng sagot ito, it will automatically compute the values or the interpretation of your um, of the people who answered your survey. Okay? So kapag mayroon pang so for example, ako naman ang sasagot. Okay, let's try to answer this. Ako naman ang sasagot. So ako ay si Mr. Bjorn Castro. And I'm from Malagasang 2D. Okay, so satisfied, medyo bagu-baguhin ko. Yan. Yan. Okay. So submit. Okay, so let us look. Yun, so andito na ako. Let me check kung automatic na niyang. Hindi. Hindi nag-automatic. Anyway, let's just drag that down. Drag, 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 and drag. Okay. So I am a satisfied client of PLDT. Okay, so any question? So let me just pause this one before you start answering questions because I'll be giving you a 46. We still have 15 minutes. Okay, so this demo naman will be about the mail merge. So the mail merge. So when is this used? The mail merge can be used for emails that needs to be personalized according to the information given to you in your Google Sheets. So it can be used in emails or on personalized documents that you need to send out manually or certificates. Again, this depends upon the information in your Google Sheet that you have received. Now, how to use the mail merge again? So it's in the Google in the add-ons. Okay, in your personal mail, wala ito because this is only possible if you install it personally. But since I've already installed it in the whole domain of MCA Emus, so you have to use your MCA Emus account. so that you can use this. So start. So you will be having this interface. So again, let us change the subject. So in our case, gagawa tayo ng thank you letter to ours to the people who answered our survey. So thank you from the Bjorn Company. So let us write into the email body. So in your email body, let's start from scratch again. So what we needed to do is to create a letter that will be personalized according to the information. Like for example, dear Mr. Your first name. So we will be looking for that in our, this is the merge field or basically the information category that you have in your Google Sheet. So we need the salutation, the Mr. and Miss, right? So you insert that to our email body space. So kung ano yung information dito sa Google Sheet, yun yung gagamitin niya later on. We need to use also the first name. So insert that and comma. Okay? Dear. Okay. If you want to add the last name, you can add it here. So thank you for answering our survey. Please pick up a gift in. Since we have a barangay here in our information field or basically the merge field, so let us add that in our email as well. So please pick up our gift in our office in located located at, okay, so the nearest office to that person is in the barangay. So best regards, Bjorn Company. So let us save that as well. And okay, so display name, you can update this. So it came from Bjorn Company. And let us send that email to everyone. So merge. So again, it will ask you, do you want 36 emails to send? Yes. So it is now sending the emails. So what I want to do is to wait for that email to come in my inbox, in my Gmail inbox. Okay, let me also um, advertise if you are into Microsoft Office apps. You can also use the Outlook. So you can now use your Outlook, which is basically the email app for your Microsoft account. However, na-activate ko lang ito last Friday. So lahat lang ng email starting last Friday, doon lang, yun lang yung makikita nyo. Okay? So again, let us wait for it to update. So, okay, that's it. So it's successfully sent. It's now successfully sent. There you go. So you have your email. Pero if you look at, there you go. So thank you from Bjorn Company. Okay. So if we open this up, so thank you. As you can see, kung ano yung information that corresponds to your email, yun yung gagamitin niya. So in this case, uh, the information that I have next to my email is Mr. Bjorn. So yun yung ginamit niya, which came from N Malagasang 2D, the corresponding information of that field, information field. So yun yung gagamitin niya in your email. Okay? So I think that's it for our session 5 of ICT. So let me just close this one. Pause. stop the